and welcome to the series High Scoring Collocations in IELTS Speaking. The first topic that we're talking about today is new activities. And the first phrase that we're going to discuss is to be involved in something. To be involved in something nghĩa là tham gia vào một hoạt động nào đó. For example, in part 1, when you get asked a question like, do you like to try new activities and why? You can answer something like, yes, I have a lot of friends who are artists, so I would love to be involved in more creative activities such as organizing art exhibitions, attending trunk shows, and conducting photo shoots. The second phrase that I want to talk about today is to show somebody the ropes. To show somebody the ropes nghĩa là chỉ cho ai đó cách làm gì. When you get asked a question like, do you like to try new activities alone or with your friends? I would answer, when I engage in new activities, I would love for someone to join me. For example, I would love to try playing volleyball someday, and I definitely need someone to show me the ropes. And today's topic will be home. The first phrase that we're going to discuss is apartment complex. Apartment complex nghĩa là một khu chung cư căn hộ. For example, in part 1, if you get asked a question like, do you live in a house or an apartment? You can answer, I'm currently living in an apartment complex. I've been living there for 3 years on my own. The next two phrases that I'm going to talk about is a gated community and a sense of community. A gated community nghĩa là một khu đô thị khép kín, and a sense of community nghĩa là ý thức cộng đồng. For example, if you are asked a question like, what do you enjoy most about your place? You can answer something like, since I live in a gated community, there is a high level of security, so I always feel safe. In addition, there's also a great sense of community where I live, so I always feel belonged. The first phrase that we're going to discuss today is an early riser. Early riser nghĩa là người hay dậy sớm. For example, if you got asked a question like, do you like getting up early? You can answer something like, yes, I do enjoy being an early riser. My job starts pretty early in the day, and getting up early also gives me a lot of energy. The next phrase is sleep quality. Sleep quality nghĩa là chất lượng giấc ngủ. For example, for a question like, what are the benefits of getting up early? You can answer something like, it is widely known that getting up early helps improve your concentration and productivity during the day. Early birds also tend to have better sleep quality than others. The first phrase that we're going to talk about today is every so often. Every so often nghĩa là thỉnh thoảng. For example, for a question like, do you like visiting museums? You can answer something like, yes, I do visit museums and art galleries every so often. It's a great way to relax and learn new things as well. The next two phrases are in-depth knowledge about something and visual literacy. In-depth knowledge about something nghĩa là kiến thức sâu rộng về một thứ gì đó. And visual literacy nghĩa là hiểu biết về thị giác. For example, if I got asked a question like, what do you learn from visiting museums? I would answer, all of my museum visits have provided me with great and unique learning experiences. In most cases, I managed to gain a lot of in-depth knowledge about the subjects displayed at the museum, and it's also a great way for me to improve my visual literacy as well. The first phrase that we're going to talk about today is target audience. Target audience nghĩa là khán giả hoặc người đọc hướng tới. For example, if I got asked a question like, do you prefer to read newspapers or magazines? I would answer, I prefer to read newspapers because newspapers is a more reliable and authentic source of information. Furthermore, since newspapers usually have a broader target audience than magazines, the information newspapers provide is usually less biased and less limited than magazines. The next phrase is to be in the know about something, nghĩa là được cập nhật và hiểu biết về một vấn đề gì đó. For example, for a question like, what kind of news do you like to read about? You can answer something like, at the moment, I tend to choose public health related news to read. Given that we're all in a pandemic, I'd love to be in the know about current COVID situations, both locally and globally. And that's it for today's video. Thank you for watching and see you guys next time. Bye! Hey guys, this is Mia and welcome back to the series High Scoring Collocations in IELTS Speaking. The first phrase that we're going to talk about today is to take pleasure in something or in doing something. To take pleasure in something hoặc in doing something nghĩa là rất thích làm một việc gì đó. For example, for a question like, do you enjoy shopping? You can answer something like, yes, I do. I take great pleasure in browsing stores and buying new clothes. Shopping is one of my favorite pastimes. The next phrase is to gravitate towards something. Gravitate towards something nghĩa là có xu hướng làm gì hoặc thích gì. For example, if I'm asked, what are your favorite stores? I would answer, I often gravitate towards local brands and online shops. Lately, I've been shopping online more often because of the current COVID restrictions. The first phrase that we're going to discuss today is to laze around. To laze around nghĩa là thư giãn. For example, for a question like, what do you usually do at weekends? You can answer something like, if I've had a hectic working week, I often just laze around during the weekends. Otherwise, I often go out for brunch or hang out with my friends at coffee shops. The next two phrases that I want to talk about are a 9-to-5 job and to wind down. A 9-to-5 job nghĩa là một công việc hành chính và to wind down cũng có nghĩa là thư giãn. For example, if I got asked a question like, do you think it's important to make the most of your weekend? I would answer, yes, if you work a 9-to-5 job, it's quite beneficial to use your weekends to wind down and recharge for a new week. It's good for both your physical health and mental health. The first phrase that we're going to talk about today is to throw a party. To throw a party nghĩa là tổ chức một bữa tiệc. For example, if I got asked a question like, do you like celebrating your birthday? I would answer, yes, I do. Every year, I throw a small party with all of my close friends. It's one of the days that I look forward to the most. The next phrase that I want to talk about is personal preference. Personal preference nghĩa là sở thích cá nhân. For example, if you got asked a question like, is it important to celebrate one's birthday? You can answer something like, I think it all comes down to personal preference. Celebrating birthdays is important to some people because it is the one day when they feel most valued by others. And in turn, celebrating others' birthday is also a chance for you to show them that you really care about them and that they're really special. However, to some people, birthday is just like any other day in the year, so celebrating it is not as important.
IELTS Fighter, tiên phong phổ cập IELTS cho người Việt.